Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. reInvent session registration opens tomorrow. Might I humbly suggest you consider COP 218, which I'm giving with some AWS friends. I promise it'll be enlightening. Now, what did AWS get up to last week? AWS Cloud Shell extends most recent capabilities to all commercial regions. All commercial regions with an asterisk, you mean? There's no Cloud Shell in Hyderabad, Calgary, Tel Aviv, or any of the China regions. This episode is brought to us by our friends at Sonri, who say, we know that CNAPs are great at showing you where your cloud's vulnerable, but who's actually fixing all those identity issues? Sonri Security's Cloud Permissions Firewall does. Imagine cutting your attack surface by 90% just by quarantining unused and over-permissioned identities in AWS, all without slowing down your dev teams. With one click, Sonri's Cloud Permissions Firewall makes it easy to restrict unused permissions and even easier to reactivate them at any time. The workflow to request access is simple and secure, integrated directly with your ChatOps tools, by which we generally mean Slack or Teams. Let's be serious, not a lot of other options in this space. Tired of just seeing the problem? Check out sonri.co/CNAP to see how Sonri Security allows you to act on CNAP alerts faster than you can say no more manual audits. That's sonri.co/CNAPP. Amazon Aurora Serverless v2 now supports up to 256 ACUs, but it still won't let you scale down to zero as AWS frantically rewrites the scales to zero historical aspect of serverless that they used to mention on their website. Now it just means managed service. Amazon S3 adds service quota support for S3 general purpose buckets. What the heck is an Amazon S3 general purpose bucket, you might ask? A bit of documentation poking later, it turns out that general purpose buckets are the original S3 bucket type. I'd call it S3 Classic, except that at this point, it encompasses all buckets except those used for S3 Express One Zone storage class buckets. So now we know. AWS announces reserved nodes flexibility for Amazon Elasticache. Which figures? We just released our duck-bill guide to AWS reserved instances, so after years of nothing changing, they went ahead and updated Elasticache RIs to behave more like RDS RIs. Our guide has already been updated. Deprecation of Lake Formation's Governed Tables feature. The deprecation of the week is, for a change, called a deprecation in the subject line and is a good change. I just don't understand why they keep dribbling these out. If you do it all at once, it makes a news cycle. Doing it this way, over months, it means that people keep talking about AWS killing stuff, like I'm doing now. Announcing AWS Neuron Helm Chart. That's right, the AWS Neurotic Helm Chart, now featuring constant self-checking, over-provisioning, indecisive auto-scaling, and overzealous error handling. What's not to love? Leverage IAM roles for email sending via SES from EC2 and eliminate a common credential risk. Now, this is my big problem with IAM these days. This blog post showcases two paths to victory, an EC2 instance role approach and an assumed role approach if it's between two accounts. Simple, right? Not so much. The post is 3,000 words. This has to be dramatically simplified if you want customers to stop stuffing credential files full of IAM keys onto EC2 boxes. And finally, issue with NVIDIA Container Toolkit. It lists a couple CVEs I'm not going to, recite the numbers for because who pays attention? A security update for EKS and BottleRocket in some configurations awaits you if you've not patched already. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Please stick around.